Hi guys, on this video we'll show you how we finish off the diff brace. So it's all done. Enjoy. Alright guys, so E30 tail shaft, Nissan diff, and the flange here. It is so close, but not quite. Okay, so not lucky with this flange because we've got a full face here. What we're gonna do is just turn it around 90 degree. We're gonna make our own holes there. We drilled it. Okay, so I've got a bolt here. I had pulled them out just so I could line everything up, but they're in there now. And there it is there. Now something I forgot to mention earlier is if you look in here, I had to machine a little sleeve because the E30 tail shaft, this flange here, it's a little bit smaller than the Skyline flange, and so just so we could line it up and it could locate itself center to the flange, to the tail shaft. Machined a little sleeve here, so now it fits snug onto the tail shaft. So we can get it to sit perfect where we want it. So that's it. Now just got to assemble this back on, and modifications to the diff are done, and then we can start putting it on. All right guys, so a little bit has happened since we last recorded, so a bit of catching up. First of all, I got lucky with a couple of things. First, my beautiful wife. Second, I won't get into detail. Second, this guy here, this is your speedo drive gear that's fitted factory in the E30. This goes inside the diff in the E30 case. When I machined these down, I machined it perfectly, but I got lucky because it wasn't meant to. So when I pull this gear off, and then I measured to see the differences between this shaft here and inside the casing where this was pressed on, it was spot on. So I was able to press this straight onto the shaft. Now this is going to be our speedo drive solution. So this is our sensor. Okay, it's just a magnetic pole sensor. So it fits in there like so, or like that, whichever way. Okay, so I've just got to make a mounting bracket for this. I'm still trying to decide whether I'll make the mounting bracket onto the diff or onto the brace, which is going to go here supporting the diff. Whichever way it goes, both ways it's going to work. It's just got to see whatever looks a little bit more presentable. We're trying to come up with a solution for the mounting points for the front. Now for the rear, it's very straightforward. We know what we've got to do with that. But the front, this is the tricky part, and so we've actually started already. We've come up with a solution, and we'll show you guys here. Like I said, you missed a little bit from the last recording, but so we've cut off this section, which is the factory mounting point here for the E30 diff. So we've cut it off, and we just got to clean all this up to make room for our new mounting points for the Skyline diff. So I'll show you soon. I'll clean all this up, prep it, get it all ready, and we'll show you how we're going to mount it and brace it all up. I've already test fitted the diff. I should have shown you that. I'll show you again once I get it back into place, ready to weld this point. I'll show you how it all sits, but very happy with the precision of the axles and just the precision of the diff itself. It's almost like it was meant to be. So yeah, I'll show you that soon. So we've made our cross member here. This was the first one we've done. We've had to take a lot of things into consideration, simply because we are only using the 2 mounting points here that the Skyline uses, where the E30 uses 2 there, and then it comes up and it uses the other 2 at the top. The reason for that is because the diff acts as a support for the cross member, for this to not torque under load. What it's going to do, so under load, because the lower control arms where they bolt on here, they're above the center line of the cross member. So the lower control arms is what pushes your car forward when you accelerate. Okay, so because the offset to this point here, what it's going to want to do, it's going to want to do that. Every time you accelerate, it's going to want to push. So it's going to overload your bushes. And so the E30 uses the 2 lower mounting points and the 2 top ones. And because the back of the diff, it's mounted to your floor, everything together works together to keeping this fairly straight. It's still going to move a little bit, but it's going to keep it a lot more steady. So we've got to take all that into consideration, and we are doing a re-frame for the Skyline diff to go onto the chassis rail. So it's not going to go onto the factory mounting points. It's going to go across to the chassis rails. So we made the first one, and out of that, we've made a jig. So now we can make it on the bench. We don't need the car to do it. And we can do a better design. Working here on the bench, it's a lot more easier. We can see things from a better angle, and we can see exactly what we need to cut, what we can keep, and we can end up with a better product. All right, guys, so that's the rear chassis area prepped. It's ready for us to fit all our components back on, and then we can start working on the rear support frame for the diff. So yeah, we'll do that on both sides. What we're going to do now on this section here, this is the original cross section for the original mounting point for the E30 diff. So we'll just weld this a little bit more just to give it a bit more strength. And then we're going to plate this on top with the new mounting points for the Skyline diff. Okay, so I'll go through a little bit more detail once that's ready, and we'll show you how we'll go about it. Okay guys, so the diff is in. Sorry I didn't show you when it was going up. The reason for that is because it's got to come back out. We had to make some adjustments with the flanges here. So what happened was that although I had the right dimension on the diff there, I got the offset wrong from center line of the tail shaft. So I had to bring this one in a little bit and bring this one out a little bit. So, but that was easy done. So that's in there. So now I'm gonna get started on the rear mounting brace for this guy here. Now we've got a certain design going in this car, but we've actually made we're gonna get some custom plates made up to be able to make it a kit. So we'll be able to sell the rear mounting brace for this setup as a kit, and it'll be easily adaptable onto any E30. But this one's gonna look a little bit different just because it's here in the shop and we haven't actually got the plates made up yet. So that's gonna happen probably we should have one ready at least within the next 3 or 4 weeks. So we've still plated this section here. So this is where our mounting points are gonna go. So it's gonna go like so. And then we're gonna make, there's gonna be a rubber mount inside here, and that's gonna go across and then join onto the rear hat of the diff. we use these as a dummy. These are the same shape as the bushes that we use, but obviously we can't weld on this with these on and do all the tacking and all that work, so we use these. They're made of steel. Pop these in there and we can do all of our work, and once we're done, once everything's finished, then we'll put the actual bushes in. Wow. Alright guys, so a little bit has happened since we last recorded. So the diff brace is finished. So as you can see, we've got Super Pro bushes on either end. Okay, we're solid mounted onto the diff in the center here. So yeah, a little better. Alright guys, so a couple of reasons why we've done this, apart from what I explained before. So with the diff brace here, the reason we've gone to the chassis rail on the ends here, just because this section here, it's a lot stronger than the factory precision that the factory E30 diff is mounted to. Even with the factory E30 diff, we've seen this fail. So especially in this application with more power and torque, this is just, it's not an option. So the reason we've gone this far, like I said, because it's stronger, but also because the distance between the center of the diff and the mounting point here, because that distance is so much more further now, this bush will do a lot less work because of the pivoting point and the power that it gives at that length there, and the thickness of the bar that allows us for, you know, no room for failure or fatigue in this section right here. Also, this is, I can't remember if I explained it before, it's a 4:1 diff ratio. This is a really good upgrade in the E46's M3s, and so we thought, since that's the setup that we're running, this will also be a good upgrade in this situation here. So we'll show you, see what we've done. I'll remove this bracket. Okay, sorry, yeah, this is not a bracket, this is just the stone guard for the speedo gear. Okay, so this is just the stone guard, just bolts onto this point here. And so this is what we've come up with. We're pretty confident it's going to work well, but we will monitor it on the testing days to make sure. But yeah, we're pretty happy with that. So this normally sits inside the diff in the E30, and this goes through the rear hat, the sensor pops in through the rear hat. So we've just done it externally there. We didn't really think it was necessary to have this cover, but just as a precaution, we thought we'll do it, and we'll keep an eye on it. Oh, I will explain something a little bit later when we get the tail shaft back. What we've done with the tail shaft, we found a simple solution, pretty straightforward. There was no cutting and welding of the tail shaft, so we'll explain that a little bit later. And that's it. That's in there now, so yeah, hope you enjoyed.